good? Yo, and welcome to another episode of Late to the Party. My name is Michael Salmon, and today I wanted to talk about what happened or what occurred at Star City in Birmingham over the weekend. And I'm sure all of you know a big fight kicked off, and it happened at a screening or at the screening of well, it didn't happen at the screening. I'd say it happened while at that Vue cinema they were screening Rapman's new film, which is Blue Story. Now, I have to put a disclaimer in here at the beginning because I would say that I haven't seen the film, right? But what I've heard of it is that the film actually is about anti-violence, and it expresses how going into drugs and gang life and all of them things there is a bad look. And it's supposed to be, according to what people are saying, is that the film encourages people not to do this and not to go into this kind of lifestyle. Right, now, me personally, having watched the trailer, right, I'm gonna have to say that I'm not a big fan of these kind of films, simply because of the stereotypes and the negative imagery that a lot of people seem to attach themselves to when they watch films like this. You know, the stereotypical, black guys running around selling drugs and shooting at each other and so forth and so on. But again, I haven't seen the film, and so for me to criticize it or anything in that kind of manner would be disingenuous. So I'm not going to do that. Right, so I'm just going to focus on what happened at the weekend, yeah? And from what I can gather, yeah, is that it was probably about after 5:30, 6 o'clock or something like that in the evening. People have gone to the Vue to watch whatever they've gone to watch, and then a fight is broken out, and then next thing you know, they say hundreds. I'm hearing hundreds. I'm hearing 50s. I'm hearing 300s. All kind of numbers are flying all over the place about how many kids ran in and stormed the place and started hacking up people and flinging machetes around and stabbing people. And you know what? You know how media is going to exaggerate kind of this kind of stuff because they want to hold this black film responsible for their kids' actions and stuff, right? Now, it's unclear exactly what was happening and what was going on. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of up in the air about it because there are so many conflicting stories. There's no clear-cut way to say, is this film in a direct catalyst for what happened, or did what happened just happen? And it's just sod's law that film happened to be on, or being shown at that particular Vue at the time, which I would tend to go with the latter. But what I'm going to try and do is kind of like give you an idea or break down what I think possibly could have happened. I probably am wrong, you know what I mean? Because I don't know, I wasn't there. But from the footage and the imagery that I've managed to accumulate, and from reading bare different articles on it, it seems to me that what happened, and that was it. Yeah, right, I'm going to leave it at that, right? So, in this first clip, you're going to see a girl that gets into a fight. And apparently, according to what people are saying, this is not my opinion, this is what I'm hearing. Apparently, this girl got into a fight, yeah, and she was in the queue to go and watch, Frozen, right? So anyway, regardless of that, she got into a fight. And here's the first thing I'm going to point out, yeah, is that this girl, yeah, is either a white girl or an Indian girl. And the reason why I say that very confidently is because unless there's some next level super weave that can stay in, ain't no one taking a tug in their hair like how she did when she's getting flung about all over the place. So let's have a quick look at that, yeah? Right, So as you can see, this girl has a fight. She gets into it. And one thing I also noticed, yeah, is that there are some black people in this footage, right? But what you'll see is that a lot of the black people in that footage are trying to come out of the fight. Yeah? You see, there's a quick shot of a black guy who's actually, trying to drag the woman out. Come on, let's get out of here, right? So let's say the fight takes place. Obviously, a few phone calls are going to be made, yeah? And that phone call is for backup. And the reason why I say it was an Indian girl is because the numbers of men that came down, yeah, black people don't kind of roll in them numbers. They have numbers like that, but in that kind of like emergency kind of thing, man's is, a lot of the time, man's, what go on? Yeah, all right, then, and 5 hours later they turn up. Not that quick, you know what I mean? Right? But that's just sidetracking. I'm drifting off point here. So anyway, the squad comes now and they run amok in the cinema, right? And what it is that here's a picture of some of the guys that have been made notorious from this. Here's a clip of some guys holding a machete or something like that. And anyway, the stories are of these kids running around in the cinema, terrorizing people, and there's all different conflicting stories of was it inside the actual theater itself, or did it start outside, or there's all confusion about that, right? So I ain't sure what's going on at that point. But what I'm going to say is this, yeah, is that, check my notes, when the police arrived and they kind of shut it down, it's that because Blue Story was on, yeah, the way that the media have kind of articulated the concerns, it's like they want to blame Blue Story for the actions of what these kids were doing, yeah. And for me, even though I tend to kind of think that, these films and films of this ilk do kind of have a lot of this negativity in them, can you really hold Blue Story and the film responsible for what happened on that day? And I don't think you can, yeah? Because what happened on that day happened on that day. It could have been any other day, yeah? If it happened halfway through the week, it still would have happened. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's fair to be holding the artist, the director and rap man are responsible for what happened. And it's just one of those things. We all know, had it been any other film, yeah, it would have just been, well, a fight broke out. So to blame this film and rap man and the culture and the music and the scene and everything for what happened, it's a stretch for me. You know what I mean? But again, like I said, people ain't gonna look at it that way, right? Because people are saying that, well, if it wasn't for the nature of that film, then this wouldn't happen. And if it wasn't for the nature of the kind of music that is associated with what happened, then these things wouldn't happen. And that's a stretch, because these things are gonna happen anyway. You know what I mean? And like I said, I haven't seen the film, and from what I hear from what people are saying about the film, it's very anti of what happened.
It's truly unfortunate that a small group of people can ruin things for everybody. Blue Story is a film about love, not violence.
In my spidey senses, yeah, right? Whenever the mainstream media jump on a story like this so quickly and it's headlining everywhere, right? I always have this impression in my own self that, right, the opportunity to bring down a black production or put another smirch on the black community is always there. They're quick to jump on it. And if you notice, and like I said, a lot of the people in this or around at the time were Asian or Indians. I would say Indians, yeah? So why are you going to, but the way that they report it with the language, thugs again, you know what I mean? And it was a black film. It's always kind of pointing at black people and holding us responsible for what happened. You know what I mean? And it's stereotypical, as I said. So again, that goes against my calling. I'm not going to say that I'm going to go out 100% and defend black people for ill doings. No, I ain't going there. I ain't saying that. But again, I'm also saying, well, you know what, right? I'm not, as a black person or as black people or as a group, we cannot be held responsible for all crime and be punished and be blamed for all crimes that happen when it's blatantly obvious that we had nothing to do with that. Okay, I'm not saying that there weren't no black people there involved and there weren't no black people running around, but from what I gathered and information that I gathered, especially when I looked at another guy's channel, won't mention his name, right? He's even saying that the kids that were involved in this should all be dropped off back in ISIS and wherever, right? So he was an Indian man himself.
Drop them into Iraq, drop them into Syria, and we'll see what free reign they have.
All I can say is that what happened, right? And I'm going to say that it was no fault of the movie itself, even though the movie does have those kind of imageries in it and whatever, right? You can't solely blame the movie and blame Rapman and other artists for what happened on this particular instance. But you know what, right? It's up in the air. I'm just giving you my opinion, and I'd like to know what yours is. So let me know in the comments below. Do you think that, what happened and it's just a bad roll of the dice that it happened at a cinema that was showing his film? Or do you think that he or this kind of film is a catalyst and responsible for this kind of behaviour? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share and all that good stuff. My name is Michael Salmon and this is Late to the Party. I'm out. Peace.